Good morning, and thank you for inviting me here. And today I am going to talk on the journey of becoming, from budding to flowering. This life is a beautiful occasion and opportunity for everyone. And everyone has his or her own story. As psychologists also have said, that everyone has two worlds around him or her. One world is common to all, but even that world is not same for all, because you give meaning to that outside world based on your perception. But one thing is very unique, that one world exists in every individual inside. So everyone is a particular world in himself or herself. I'm going to talk about that inner world more and more, and also something about how we take the other things outside us depending on our perception. So, the journey of becoming. This is your journey, my journey, and we have to define the terms and conditions of this journey. First of all, we must be thankful to all the resources available around us, all the cooperations available around us. Parents have given birth, teachers have taught, and many well-wishers have nurtured. At very critical juncture in life, you have got certain suggestion from someone. With someone you have talked only for a minute, and that minute had more depth. Let me tell you that time has two dimensions. One dimension is horizontal dimension of time, and other is vertical dimension of time, as I understand and I have full conviction. To measure the length of horizontal dimension of time, human beings have invented watch, that watch or clock, wristwatch or clock on the wall, that measures horizontal dimension of time. There is other concept we should understand, that is vertical dimension of time. I call it more second per second, or more minute per minute, or more hour per hour, more life per life. Everyone has one life, but someone lives with a lot of superfluous approach, and one lives with certain conviction and depth. And I do not know that when a time will come, and I think it is impossibility to invent an instrument which shall be able to measure the vertical dimension of time. And that's why we keep learning at every moment in this journey of becoming. Right from the day we get born to the time that we take the last breath, we all keep learning. And this learning only gives us the way of becoming. Becoming is, you see, becoming is itself the present continuous tense. It is not that I have become or you have become. It is becoming, and this process is on. I will remind you to Heraclitus, who had said even before Christ that you cannot dip in the same river twice. Or what Gautam Buddha said, that is about the ephemeral nature of the existence, that everything is changing. For example, the cells that we carry, trillions of cells that we carry, they keep on changing. New cells keep replacing older cells. And about half an hour back, when you all entered this hall, you are not the same person now as you were half an hour back. So this is a continuous journey. That is, I mean to say, becoming. This is present continuous tense, and it is happening. And it is very nice arrangement existence has created around us, that we never get the pinnacle of actually what I have happened or I have become. Basically, the journey itself is the goal. That is the one point. Secondly, that in this journey of becoming, and the title also says after colon, from budding to flowering. What does it mean for this context of my talk? When we say from budding to flowering, every bud, that is every individual soul, is born with two possibilities, with two factors which might influence him or her. Number one is the inborn tendencies. Human beings are not born as clean slate. This has been discussed enormously in psychology. And to my conviction, because here I'm standing to talk about my conviction. And my conviction may not be so convincing to some of you, some of that part of my talk. But you have to take what convinces you. And it has convinced me that human being is not born as a clean slate. To that extent, I agree with that concept. But secondly, as behaviorists also say, a great number of psychologists, they have said that you are what environment has made you to become. So to take the integration, I'll say that every individual, each one of us, is the point of concurrence where two forces are meeting. Number one, your inborn tendencies, and number two, the environment in which we are living. And point number one is that when we have inborn tendencies, is it not my duty towards myself to understand my natural endowments, my inclination? If that is known, we might fructify, we might move from being a bud to becoming a flower. And in this process, individual has to help himself or herself. The family has to help the person. The society has to help. Institutions have to help. I'm a teacher, and students come and say sometime, sir, there are more scope in this branch of a subject. So should I put more force there? Then I ask that student that what is your inclination? What is your say? What is your take? You are not born to become champion of that kind of career or way of life where scope of getting opportunity is more. You are born to live the life for which you are meant. That is very important. And right from the beginning, Swami Vivekananda or Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, they have all said that basically we are here to identify our potential. So that is very important. I always encourage my students to actually take the hard call, because after a certain age what happens, we are not able to take the hard call. There are two types of call that we get, those we get. Number one is mind call, and mind call forces us to calculate revenue, cost, profit. If I do that, this much investment, ROI, fine, I don't know whether I'm fully convinced with this concept or not, ROI in context of education. Wherever my inclination is there, I must invest there. ROI is a great concept in terms of business, but ROI in context of admission fee, I do not fully agree, because I must join a course or program as a student which actually is giving me heart call. Mind call calculates, and heart call gives subtle invitation. It gives a whispering. You'll find that more precious ideas, when they come to you, they come in the shape of whispering, not in the shape of shouting. Anything that is precious comes to you, comes closer to you with, let us say, calculated step without making much of sound. And that's why subtler thoughts also come silently. You have to capture them. I call them precious thoughts, subtler thoughts, feminine thoughts. These thoughts, when they come around you, you have to make arrangement to capture them, otherwise they would leave you. Only very mundane, ordinary, subordinary, below average thoughts, they come. If you invite them, thoughts come, and the thoughts start telling you or becoming aggressive themselves. They are pressurizing you that, hey, I am your thought. And suppose thought is mediocre type or even negative type. Then thought comes to you and thought says that, hey, you have invited me. You have to use me. Otherwise, I will not leave you. But positive thoughts, subtler thoughts, feminine thoughts, precious thoughts, once you invite, they come. And then you have to persuade the thought to remain with you. And these are all proven dialogues. There are so many stories. And in this limited time, I cannot share so many stories. So please be careful. And I tell to myself, not to yourself, that when precious thoughts come, make arrangement to hold it. And then they are the moments when you can take the hard call. And I cannot theorize at this point of time, but I think after the age of 35, your capability to listen and implement hard call becomes debilitated. Because younger persons, they have more opportunities in their hands and they can take the hard call. If younger person is person of guts, must listen to hard call also. I say it like this, hard call is like flow of water in the river. And mind call also not to be abandoned. Mind call is like two banks which hold the water. But before two banks, you must have water to make a river a river. River becomes river with two conditions, let us say. I am simplifying, not oversimplifying, that to become a river, water has to be there. But two banks have to be there. If banks are not there, river will become floody area. And if banks are there, water is not there, how it can be called as river? But if you pressurize me to rank out, which is more important to make it a river, water or two banks? I would say, ladies and gentlemen, certainly water first, then banks. Heart call first, then mind call. Mind call will help you to optimize your heart call. But if heart call is not there, the journey of becoming even may not start. So, we must take heart call in this journey of becoming. Now, once we take that heart call, journey starts. And then journey poses so many difficulties. And difficulties are difficulties for those who are persons like me, who are having ordinary mind. I define or describe difficulty as difficulty, but every difficulty basically is opportunity for those who believe in themselves, who act upon, those who know the process of knowing, doing, becoming, and they become. They take the bull by the horns. There is a term in English that is called confrontation. We have heavily misutilized that term. Confrontation means we think locking horn with other. One individual is locking horn with other individual. That is okay, that is also a meaning. But other meaning is more precious of confrontation. Confrontation means being able to look into the eyes of the problem, and if problem exists, being able to say that there is a problem. In certain society, certain family, certain organization, there is culture of pushing the dirt below carpet. No, we have to get out of that. We have to be confrontational. And confrontational, here the meaning is that you are able to see eye to the problem, and if problem exists, please accept that there is a problem. But if problem is there, no looking back. Let us not complain. When I want to avoid a situation to a certain extent and capable to avoid it, that's fine. But if you are into that certain trouble, some kind of situation, then I think you must invite your extra sources of energy, and it is already there, hidden inside the human being as potential energy. That potential energy has to be converted to kinetic energy. And if we are able to describe every problem as opportunity, I think our journey of becoming actually is taking good shape. Like Viktor Frankl said, in 1940s, he was captured in concentration camp twice. And once he decided that I would convert this experience, which is highly painful, to opportunity. And his famous quote is that there is, and I can say in simpler English, that there is no gain without pain. I'm not saying please invite pain. Sometimes I think God has already fixed certain limited number of quota or minimum quota of pain for every individual. That will come to you. Though I pray that in my audience nobody should have any iota of pain. But that is the way of life, that you will have your own quota of pain. But at least don't invite new pain. But whatever is the quota of the pain, let us try to gain out of that pain. What is the most precious moment in a family or even in a society, in a clan, when a newly born baby starts crying? With that crying, people start smiling and laughing. A new baby has been born. But ask the pain of mother. Through that pain, the gain has happened. The greatest amount of delight has happened only going through that pain. I have full conviction Because I am here standing with a responsibility. I have conviction that there is no gain without pain. But please don't invite pain. Other point I would like to emphasize here that, and you will say, sir, you are talking mundane phrase, but I'll tell you, the phrase that we have studied at class 4th or 5th or 6th, there should be certain scheme that a person attending 40 years of age must attend 3 days full-time program on actually being able to interpret properly what you studied in class 4th or 5th or 6th. It is our bad luck that many precious sentences are taught in childhood and we use those sentences to write in exam and get certain marks. No, these sentences basically are to pass the examination of life. So another phrase which you may say mundane, but I say have conviction, and then you will find the journey of becoming actually becomes very, very delightful experience, and that is no risk, no gain. No risk, no gain. When I'm standing like this, my probability of falling down is so less. If I'm standing on one foot, then probability of falling is more. And when I'm walking, probability of falling is more than when I was standing. And when I'm running, even probability of falling is more than when I was standing. And just for your interest, difference between walking and running is not, differentiator is not the speed. When we walk, at least every time a portion of body is touching earth. But when we are jogging or running, at a given time, you are not touching the earth. That is the distinction between jogging and running on one side and walking. So, someone may say, I believe in Maslow, physiological need is fulfilled, security need. And after interacting with more than 30,000 intelligent brains, I have learned. I never claim I have trained them, I have taught them, I have learned from them. And I have learned that many persons among us, those who are intelligent and educated, somewhere we get stuck at second level of Maslow's need, that is security need. And by getting stuck there, we do not become flower. If too much you are busy in securing things only, then when you will take that risk, which will give you gain. Even a batsman in cricket takes certain risk, goes on front foot and connects the ball with the bat, hits 6. No risk, no gain. No pain, no gain. And in this journey, we have to write our own story. And let me conclude by saying that it is better to be original copy with certain defect than becoming the perfect 8th carbon copy of somebody else. Let us live with originality and join this journey of becoming. Thank you very much.